So we are here at DreamHack Atlanta 2025 for the DreamHack Collegiate Invitational. My name is Sam Talks. Joining me is going to be Zobi, and we have a lot of other great, amazing people that are also going to be here this weekend. But we're here for the pre-show for Valorant. This is going to be a weekend jam-packed full of Rocket League and Valorant action. And oh my goodness!
Speaking of Rocket League,
we even got a cameo appearance from Rocket League. Oh my gosh, he couldn't help himself, right? No, that's how exciting this weekend is going to be, though, Zobi.
Absolutely, and it's a spectacular one as well. You got Clove and Wingman here to do your pre-show and cast your first matchup of the day. But I'm super excited to be here the second year as well, and it's only gotten bigger. I mean, 8 Valorant teams, 16 Rocket League teams. I'm ecstatic for the action that we're gonna have, and there's only one returning team as well, so it's all new teams for Valorant.
I know, it's so crazy, and it's so exciting to see also the level of skill that we're getting. Some of the players that we have out here as well. We actually are gonna have a small interview with a couple of them for the pre-show a little bit later, but we do want to talk a little bit about how this weekend is going to be going, though, right, Zobi? Especially when it comes to the format of this weekend.
Yeah, so the way this was formed was, like we said, 8 teams. They filled out an application and were selected to be invited, right? Then they were seeded into 2 groups of 4 each, so 8 teams total. And the top 2 from each group will make it out and go to best of 3 single elimination playoffs. Ooh.
Yeah, so this entire Friday is just going to be best of ones, correct?
Absolutely.
That adds that extra layer of tension when you're literally at knife's edge already on first map. So you had to be playing at your peak, you had to be playing at your best, but you're also playing in a LAN, and not a typical LAN environment either. This is DreamHack, right? There's so many people here. There's so many great events happening all around us.
We got Marvel Rivals behind us. Like, we got the big stage.
Got Marvel Rivals over there. We got we're in the free play area, the free play section. There's a lot of really exciting events happening around us, and so again, that's like playing on that with that distraction aspect of what's going on.
Absolutely, and they're not just playing for honor, for glory, right? They're playing for cut of the $1,500 prize pool that gets split between the top 3 teams, right? It's not just you have to make playoffs, but you have to make it past those semi-finals as well if you want a chunk of the cash, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely, stakes are high, and also you just get to meet people, right? I feel like my first DreamHack Collegiate Invitational last year, I put so many names to faces. It was insanely fun.
It's what makes LANs a lot of fun, is being able to finally say, okay, I've been seeing your name all around Collegiate, and now I finally get to see your face. I finally get to actually shake hands and talk with you.
Exactly. And with the HUE Storm Invitational as well getting retired this year, I think this is the first collegiate LAN of the year as well. So getting to see maybe some of how the roster shake up. We get to see which teams are going to have that LAN buff that maybe will come into action when CVAL, when CECC kick around later. All of that is huge, huge impact.
Couldn't agree more. And I think we should actually go ahead and talk a little bit about our first matchup of the day.
Can we see those groups?
Let's go ahead and grab the groups, so that way we can. There we go. All right. So these are our 8 teams, right, Zobi? We have Maryville, Baker, Stony Brook, and Kennesaw State in Group A, and over in Group B, we have St. Thomas, Fisher, University of Texas at Dallas, and Converse.
I mean, this is just like the elite of the elite. You're missing some, like your Winthrops, your Northwoods, etc., who were like here, for example, Winthrop won it last year, but then you replace it with the new CVAL champions of Maryville. You bring in, St. Thomas, the runner-up of last year. So CVAL, like, it is the best of the best, and you get some local specialties as well, like Kennesaw State. But I do want to also highlight UTD's that one returning team from last year that got 2nd place, so they're looking for gold this time around.
They're looking for gold this time around, but Zobi, when you're looking at the level of competition out there, it's going to be tough. They're going to be in for a whirlwind of a weekend. And it all starts with our first matchup of the day, and that is going to be between Maryville versus Baker, a explosive matchup, in my opinion, to start things off on this Friday morning.
No, absolutely. It is a little bit of a grudge match depending on who the starting 5 are for Baker this time around. Just because Maryville knocked them out of CECC May Madness last year in the quarterfinals, and it was kind of a one-sided blowout. But I will say, with the map pool, with the meta, with just everything changing so drastically super recently, I think the teams that are the most flexible are going to be just running away with things.
They absolutely are going to be. And in fact, you can actually see our schedule right now, and today there is so much going on. Starting, obviously, Maryville versus Baker, into Fisher versus UTD, then Baker versus Kennesaw, Fisher and Converse, and then finally to end it, Baker again on stream versus Stony Brook. So a lot of best of ones, right? We got to get through all of them today, because tomorrow we're going right into the finals. We go into the best of 3s, and then for grand final Sunday, that one more best of three.
Championship Sunday.
Championship Sunday.
But yeah, if you're in the area, if you're at DreamHack Atlanta, there'll be other matches happening in the pits behind us as well. So just because they're not on stream doesn't mean they're not happening. So if you're here and you want to see your favorite team, you can come watch. But with that, we do have some special features to kick off our broadcast today, which includes 2 interviews with those 2 teams of Baker and Maryville. Sam, do you want to welcome in our first guest?
I would absolutely love to. We teased, we hinted at it, and now we're going to be bringing in Germsy from none other than Baker.
Hello. How are we doing?
We doing good, man. How are you doing?
Good. I'm ready. I'm excited. Really excited.
Heck yeah. So like, okay, let's talk about it, right? It's Halloween weekend. You know, you're coming out here, you're jazzed, you're ready to go. How's the vibe of DreamHack treating you right now?
You know, it's really nice. Halloween day, we're ready to play. We've been, prepping. We had boot camp before this, so we went to Michigan. We all got together. Wow. We got ready, so we're pretty prepared for today.
Wow. Okay.
How did you get the time off from school for a Michigan boot camp?
So we actually have classes online. So we do online. So we're on campus. We're just doing our classes. We had like a whole schedule. We do classwork. We go to the gym, and then we have prac from 2 to 8. And so it was a pretty busy week.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's actually really awesome to hear, to be coming in that prepared. Because you're going to need it against a team like Maryville, right? Is there any jitters going on there when you're taking on like literally one of the top dogs?
Right. They're a good team, but like I said, we prepped a lot and we're ready. So I'm not too worried about them.
I like that.
And then outside of the Collegiate Invitational, have you ever been to a convention like DreamHack like this? What are you looking forward to doing the most, do you think?
I honestly haven't really competed at too many events. So this is one of my maybe biggest events. So I'm excited. I'm not really too nervous, but I'm ready to play, and so we're looking forward to it.
I like that. Yeah, this and obviously, there's a lot of things going on around us here at DreamHack. There's a lot of different events going on. We talked a little bit about it. We have Marvel Rivals behind us, and just so much to do. When it comes to the event itself, is there anything that you guys are looking forward to do together as a team? Maybe even some team building, just walk around and take a look at everything?
Not really too sure yet. We're kind of focused on playing this map, and we'll figure that out after the tournament's over today. So, yeah. Or the day. The day is over today, yeah.
All right, and obviously we said you're starting out against Maryville, right? Probably the number 1 seed in the event. Is that who you think your biggest threat is, or the team you're looking forward to competing against the most, or is there another team that your eye is on, whether in your group or in playoffs when you get there?
Right. So yeah, Maryville, of course. We're also looking at UST. So UST is going to be a tough competition too. Fisher's pretty good, but those are the top 3 schools that we're really looking forward to play.
Awesome.
All right.
And, before we let you go, right, we're going to start winding things down here before we bring our next guest on. But is there anybody that you yourself want to shout out, or anyone that you want to say special thanks to?
Honestly, my director, Henry, my coach, and my teammates. I've had a great time with these guys. We've been really putting in a lot of work, and we're ready to show what we can do today. So.
Awesome. And Zobi, anything else from you?
No, just good luck, and we'll let you go warm up. I know your next match starts in about 15 minutes, so good luck today.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. This way?
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
Those are some insightful interviews. I mean, they're excited. They're happy to be here, support the grassroots space, and build collegiate esports so it can be as big as your 10K lands happening on the big stages. I don't have any wood to knock on. Wingman's hat sure will do.
Yeah, be careful, okay? All right, I got to go plant a spike later, in one of these matches. Who knows how that works? But anyways, Zobi, yeah, no, it's the energy here, I think, is nothing short of explosive, right?
Yeah.
Not just from our free play area where we're having this event, but also just all around us, surrounding us, feeding the hype that's going on right now. And I know for a lot of these players, it means a lot to them to be able to come out to a collegiate land, to be able to have this sort of representation for their program, and to be able to show off their skills as a school and as an esports program to be highlighted.
Absolutely, and because of how regional it can get as well, you don't get to compete against these teams all the time. So maybe those that are still trying to knock on greatness can have an upset today, make a name for themselves. Your KSU, your Converse that want to get into that higher echelon of play, that Division 1 kind of environment. I think this is where you start, right? You prove yourself on land, and we're going to see some Lanimals. I cannot wait. And are there any players that you're thinking of that are you're going to be keeping an eye on from any of the teams across the board?
It's a good question. Honestly, just looking over towards Baker, right? Being our first matchup going up against the Maryville squad, I'm just looking at all of them. I want to see how they're going to handle this big hurdle, right? Because they're one of the greats. They're one of the top schools, and I know that for sure. Seeing how they're going to take on the pressure of being the first game of the day, being up against a Titan like Maryville, it's going to be very important for them. But I'm also interested in seeing how Converse is going to do. That school as well.
They restructured. They lost a lot of players.
Yeah. And obviously talking about, there's been a lot of program issues out there in the collegiate world. So just being able to see how these schools are going to perform, especially with that added little nugget of, hey, who knows what could happen.
And to answer my own question that I asked you about which player I'm keeping forward, so I can have some shameless self-promo to my school, Kennesaw State University. I'm looking forward to seeing Key, actually. That's their duelist player. She is insane. I actually got to play with her recently in a tournament as well, and she absolutely carried my plat self. But she's one of those that, when she gets on land, can really heat up. And I know they're going for revenge if they make playoffs versus... Actually, I think Converse is in their group. No, they're in a separate group. I think they want to make playoffs so they can face Converse to upset that PBC rematch that they lost last year, because they beat them in every best of 3 forward prior, got to a best of 5 and lost to them. So without Icy on that team, without that explosive duelist that they're also friends with, I think it can get spicy.
I think it is going to get spicy. But speaking of spice, Zobi, we do have to get things set up for our first matchup of the day. So we're going to go ahead and wind down the pre-show. But don't go anywhere, because we still have so much more Valorant action left to go, including our first matchup of the day, that being Maryville University versus Baker College. So stick around, stay here. We'll be right back for that first matchup. Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Collegiate Invitational. My name is Sam Talks. Joining me is Zobi. I want to say a big thank you for all the patience with the tech issues that we've had going on. It's been kind of crazy back there. We've had a couple of audio issues. A monitor wasn't working, so finally got all of that sorted, and we're about to head into our matchup between Maryville and Baker.
I mean, it's a collegiate land. You can't have fun without any technical difficulties now, can you? And obviously our servers are just haunted. It's Halloween. You know how it is. But with that, like we said, with such an anticipated matchup between Maryville and Baker, it's only right for the pressure to mount before we jump into the action. So, and it gives all the other players and teams that have like some time before they get here to explore the convention, get set up. So it's really good for everybody.
Yeah, get set up, or even just do some play some Valorant of their own, right? Get ready to go, get warmed up and get prepped, because there's still a lot of games happening after this. These best of ones, right? They go by pretty fast, they go by pretty quick, and then the next thing you know, you're already next up. It's going to be rapid fire all day today, and that's what makes best of ones a lot of fun, right? They're super tense, they're super exciting. You are literally on your last chance at the very beginning.
No, absolutely. And quick reminder for those that were not here, our map for the day, for the best of one, I should say, is Haven, which both these two teams are currently undefeated on in the season. 4-0 for Maryville in Division 1 and 3-0 for Baker in NECC. And I mean, speaking of NECC, Baker, I mean, they really also haven't gotten challenged other than Fisher in that league. They've also had 2 FF wins, so they're just like cruising towards those playoffs. So this might be the time for them to have some true challenges here on land, both fighting past demons and current ones now. Yeah,
you're looking towards the future. You're looking towards being able to, first of all, take down Maryville.
Absolutely.
Rematch Fisher, beat them. There's also UST they've talked about. They want to take them on.
They want to fight all of the giants. That's all.
That's it. That's all you got. That's all you got to do. That's all you want to do. Again, it comes back to that. We got to prove ourselves right now. We got to prove ourselves at this land. There are so many other teams out there who think that they're the top dog. I mean, Maryville, right? They have good reason to think that. UST has good reason to think that. Fisher has good reason to think that. But Baker's ready to change the thought process. They're ready to really elevate themselves to that new level.
No, absolutely. They're that like one step away from greatness kind of team, but we are already into the action, into the pistol round. No time for comp talk. It's time for action. And speaking of action, Maryville, nice grass start here. Scaling looking like they want to challenge this B-side, which is stacked not just with players, but Killjoy and Viper Util. This is going to be rough unless they can time it properly. Yeah,
we're going to be having Maryville on the defense. Baker giving us a starch look at the attack. Alrighty, right wall's going to come up, deny the vision of Rins. A couple of players still hanging out on the outside. Tepid is making their own push onto the site as well, right? The two Vipers going up against each other. But with this, Baker, right, not enough information. Didn't get a frag, didn't get a pick. It's not solid enough for them to want to stay there. Meanwhile, right, good shot, good calling here from Maryville. 2 players posted up on A for this Baker swarm.
Yeah, and reminder, Baker is attacking right now, despite the colors. We'll get that swapped over. But time being, they're still rebounding into the Vipers wall, still rebounding into a stack site because the Jets rotated over. Here we go!
Already, Chloric, oh my goodness. It was 1 good shot for Chloric, but 2 for Demon Rins. Still fighting back, and it's this brawl that's breaking out back and forth between these two teams, but the most important thing, numbers-wise, advantage going to Baker. Spike going to be planted. Giza on this high ground. What a shot from Germsy. Final player down for Maryville. Still standing, Sanj. Sees the alarm bot at their feet. Revenge looking in one direction, needed to be looking over towards CT, but now the final two knows exactly where it's happening, setting up for the high-low, and he needs to get over towards the other side. Paranoia's going to go out, makes the swing right into the waiting arms.
And just a
Baker.
pistol, we already heard a scream over our headphones over the game, but all in all, a great kind of just, I think, intuition there, a sixth sense that guided them away from B and into that A, and even though we did see a really, really good angle for this over there, tucked away in the corner, had the vulnerability, the Sheriff shots don't connect, and as a result, Demon is unleashed. We talked about them fighting demons, they got one on their side.
Yeah. And I think, too, right, you're looking at it, it was good calling here from Maryville to still have those two players posted up on A, but it's going to be really difficult for Cloric in the position that they were in. Even if they got a couple, where are you going to go from there? You're stuck in that corner. There's only so much you can do, even with that decay from the Viper wall. But Rin seen by the recon bolt. Oh, couldn't even get out of there. Germsy broke the wall. The Guardian going to do the rest.
Yeah, really nice pre-rounds right now from Baker. Looking for impact, looking for info. Screwface, though, is going searching on his own, and it looks like they're prepared for this. Look at the little high-low already, but is that a no-scope headshot? That is absurd.
And Screwface is somehow still alive with only 11 HP. He gets the one, takes a couple bullets for his trouble, but he got one, and that's huge, right? It equalized things back out. He may be on death's door, but still, it's something.
Absolutely, and now they have to re-clear all of this space, right? And Screwface is repositioned on the short line, and you've already lost one to this menace with a Marshall. You don't want to lose another, so just going to regroup, exit towards the C side. And because this crossfire on B has been here off the Viper's wall since the get-go, they are attacking arguably the weaker side, but let's see Agima, Ranked Demon himself, deliver this anchor.
All right, here it is. Oh my god! Oh, Giza! In what world do you get a double kill like that? And they were so prepared for it too, Zobi, right? Baker was so tepid about going onto that site. You've already used your fast lane, so you're pushing on to see where that would have been so useful. Giza's hanging out in here. They didn't have a care in the world. Quick flick back over. Germsy is going to keep things in contention, but guess where Screwface is? With that Marshall. It's only 11 HP though, Zobi. It's at the wire. Time running low. Nami has to get to the B site with 5 seconds left to plant the spike. Running low on that time limit, but look at this, look at the pinch. Screwface knows that they have to take this fight. They know that they could have gone in there and tried to stop it, but instead just playing for their life. Now down, hunt wherever Nami is, but it's still this back and forth between the two players. Now it's down to the 1v1, but here's the thing, right? Cloric has the Bulldog too, so it's Bulldog v Bulldog. Nami, the pressure is on to keep that spike safe. Cloric, for them to defuse the spike itself on this B site. But Nami,
he's wait for the tap. He has to
play on A connector. Over towards the right side, just hunt him down! Nami with 4 HP! Survives the tide.
They escape utter disaster there, right? Giza just getting challenged and living up to the name. Finds 2, and honestly, if Nami had rotated, he would have gotten crunched between Cloric and Screwface. So really, really well done there. Just quick in the moment thinking. I think he had 0.3 seconds left on the timer when he was planting that spike. So just really, really good time management there. And honestly, Germsy as well with that Guardian, able to again equalize things and give that opportunity to Nami to clutch things up. So while their money is a little maimed, Demon forcing up the Phantom here could just be what they need to dent this full buy out of Maryville.
All right, Ange. The reinforcements are coming in too, but has left Garage undefended. Gonna have to be so careful about anyone poking their head through there. Screwface though is gonna get us started with the first blood. Just through the smoke too, Zobi, and still has dealt a lot of even more damage towards Revenge. But now you're looking, Ange has eyes on Garage, slowed down by the relay bolt and stuck inside of the snake bite. And in fact, it's actually going to sacrifice their lives with Screwface in an attempt to take that fight back over in this direction. Giza has to hold the line down. Revenge going to get the spike planted. Now it's down to the final 2 players from Maryville to take on Baker.
Ooh, wanted to try isolating a fight here, but the drone reclear should allow these 2 remaining players to frame it quite well and make a little sandwich of Revenge. And Giza, it'd be good for the defuse there. Overall, I really like the C-split. It got on the side, it got the spike planted. Good utils would have flushed these players out. You saw it, right? Anj had full trust to play off of Ren's tucked away logs, and he wasn't able to find enough to make it a fair exchange. And as a result, they're able to keep things I mean, they did well, I'll say, for only having one Phantom and a Bulldog. I mean, we saw the Nami also challenge backside find one, just dome a player in CT. All in all, not bad, but this is where it counts, right? You have some money lacking. Screwface with the full shield classic means they're probably going to be fighting for this Blade Storm just a touch. And on the flip side here, Baker, this is their opportunity to tie things up here.
It is. Maryville University. We have Giza, the alarm bot down. Garage Cork. Hunter's Fury. I don't know how. It's just that little bit of intuition on their side, and then the tracking of an experienced Sova player.
I mean, they've been starting here every time, right? They've been starting spawn, they've been starting slow. Screwface has confirmed to himself, scaling up long. I wouldn't be surprised if that was his pre-round call, right? He's not just the duelist for this squad. He's had that multi-levels experience, jumped around on rolls, team to team, but time being here. In the meantime, yeah, they did lose a player over towards A, but they've gotten some control elsewhere. They have a nice Germsy lurk deposited. Trying to slowly clear all these angles here, but a crossfire with a turret, you try to break the turret, and Screwface will find you instead. So, a little dangerous territory here. I'm not liking that we're less than a minute left, and I don't think an open out solo A is enough to sell this fake, so they're not going to be able to walk on, yeah.
Yeah, Baker's just so scared, right? They were almost about to push on to B, but again, it's those moments where we saw it in the pistol round. They were about to go on to B, and then the call being made, no, let's back out, let's back out. You don't have your Viper to be able to close down the smokes on A connector, but now it looks like, right, they've left behind their Sentinel to make sure that it's protected. You have Giza, right? Everything going up, and you're going right into Renz. Screwface is there to follow through with another. Puts out a quick cloud burst. Oh, brilliant one-way. Screwface just knows everything locked down on every single angle. Wherever Baker was at, their wings getting clipped.
Yeah, that was just so thorough out of Maryville, down to the very last utility floor, holding the Germsy flank, right? And I think that's where you're going to run into difficulties, is they're not showing enough presence and not drawing enough rotations over. I low-key wanted Nami to be scaling up a little bit more aggressively, but that deep alarm bot never got destroyed short, and as a result, they couldn't. And Screwface as well to reposition over towards A lane, a really proactive call that ended up coming true, so he could get there. He could get those refrags, because honestly, they did a good job refragging onto Renz when Demon fell. I think they should have gotten the site, but again, it was consistent reinforcement. The 2-2 now found. Let's see where we're going.
So far, tied up, 2-2. Recon drone's going to see Giza, but they're still wanting to push on the side. Baker still thinks that this is the call to be made for them. If they did try to go for a rotation, Screwface will call it out, but because that hasn't happened, right? Yeah, Glory, simple spam through the smoke, and the Recon Bolt's going to see them inside of there. Revenge lucky to get away with whatever they had. And Baker's just taking so much damage back and forth, trying to get in, trying to get out. Meanwhile, Screwface in the flank with an Outlaw, making the call out. Hey, the rotation is happening. Let's start spreading back out across the map.
All right. Here we go. This is the proactive fight we want to see. This is the the spread out pressure we wanted to see. But again, with it's not just a Sentinel, but a Viper as well. It's really no matter where they go, it's defended. And now, I mean, that's Swarm alone. It means it's hard to scale off of your fast lane, so that's gone. The Recon's disconnected and late, so not much refrag there. But Drago lucky to find one onto Ant before the wall drops. But you're still dealing with Renz here, who honestly should be able to clean up both of these.
Yeah. It was going to be difficult for them to do anything there, right, with the weapons that they had on that lighter buy for Baker, but you still have to give it to Maryville. They played that to near perfection, even on a save round against their opponent. Right, being able to rebuke them on multiple angles, Screwface coming up through the flank, making call-outs on the rotation. You center them, all of your players on A, then once that call-out's made, you spread back out. And Giza's so quick on the utility too, and one of the reasons why the Sentinel player has been such a star for Maryville. And then, yeah, Renz cleans it up, puts it down, and now Baker lost off. Maryville in the lead.
Yeah, there's some light shields, some regen shields, but look at the ults on Baker's side. Overdrive, the works. I think that's why, look at this set play. You Vipers think it's passive, but it's actually aggressive. 3 players swinging out and challenging you into window, but Baker is trying to fight back into this. They don't like all the control. They don't like that Screwface has gotten deposited here. Looks like they finally feel like they've appeased it for the time being, have forced the line back. My just biggest concern is what is Kyle Screwface gonna find?
He's gonna find that. deposited so deep in mid. Every single fight that they're going to have to take needs to go through him. Thankfully, though, Revenge, living up to their name, is going to grab just that. But still, right, it's tap it back and forth, and you still have that Viper's Pit in mid. You can't go through that.
Yeah, like your options are fight into the stack, which is on A, 2 players, your Viper's Pit, or Giza, who with a Sheriff, right, was able to find 2 if you wanted them, while you had weapons. So I think this is the best solution here, right? But I don't like that Germsy's peeled off, because then it is going to be this kind of 2v3 where this can happen.
No way.
A crunch.
Yeah, it happens again, though. Chloric.
Spike down.
Here, he is eating them alive every single time they try to get on site, even just holding this corner, right? I talked about the viability of just leaving this Sova in the corner, but if Chloric's playing out of their mind like this, there's nothing to worry about. And they know Germsy sometimes likes to go on the lurk, but still, he just holds sewers. Germsy still has 3 more players to fight against and needs to grab the spike, Zoe.
In 10 seconds.
It's in 10 seconds. So we already know that this round is going to be done and dusted. It's just a matter of how much can Germsy get away with. It's not going to be anything. Chloric gets a 4K and 4 for Maryville.
Yeah, he had flashbacks to Fioran's were higher when he was anchoring the A side. Says none of that this time around. But I do think this timeout is needed because Baker, I really liked the big picture calling, right? They're going to the right sites. They're identifying like what the best course of action is. When it comes to like the micro in terms of executing on joint utility together, right? Fighting through this Viper wall together, it's a bit disjointed and there's less tradability. The only player I've seen really effectively trading is Drago, and that round we didn't even get to see that. Versus even when Chloric, right, was taking the fight on a player pinned in a corner, there's still a paranoia from Anj coming through, right? They're not taking any risks in any of these fights versus Baker is taking all the risks, and sometimes the heroics from singular players like we've seen from Jersey, like we've seen from Nami, do come through, and that's why it's only 2-4 right now, and that's why this timeout could still get that sync back online and generate a comeback.
Yeah. A matter of dipping back into that that discussion that we were having before we came into this game, right? That Baker is a squad that needs that time to come online, needs those extra maps to really be able to play at their absolute peak. And being only on this one map, only having this one chance, works against them, and the timeouts are so valuable in that aspect where it gives them a little bit more of that time to get their heads back on straight, to have those discussions. And this is right for both of these teams. It's their map, so Baker still has to have some tricks up their sleeves, and especially when you're starting off on attack on Haven.
Yeah, I think that's why the timeout is so early, is just because it is the attack side. It's also because you may be talking about, okay, 4 ults, do we use them on Nico? At what point do we use them on the Seiko? Because that can get you onto a side. Stingers and a Viper's Pit on the B side could also be deadly. They've been getting this space up to the wall pretty easily, right? Which is how they fight through the wall that has needed improvements. So let's see what those improvements look like, if any. Or you just jump past all the mollies, that works too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, okay, Germsy. It's a good start for the squad, but man, not when Chloric is just hanging out over on a completely different site using the Hunter's Fury. And not only that, the Viper's Pit has been gotten rid of. So it's still down to the 2v2. There's still an opportunity, but Anj is just hanging out at backside. The spike hasn't even been planted yet. Oh, this is easy pickups. Germsy, there was nothing they could do there. They missed the first shot. May have landed a couple of body shots onto Anj, but nothing worse for wear.
Yeah, honestly, if Maryville hadn't had the Hunter's Fury there, very, very different round, right? They got the site, they got the deep space control, they got the Viper's Pit up, and that Hunter's Fury just flushed everything out, allowed the perfect re-clear from key players. And yeah, Screwface sprays in some nice shots there on the eco, but all in all, it's still a round going the way of Maryville. One off from their security net. Now Kyle, or Screwface, has the operator online as well and will be deposited on this ace space. And in the meantime, this is a must-win round for Baker, or they're subject to, again, that best-of-1 seesaw, not having enough weight to sit back.
Okay. All right.
That's like 100 pound weight there.
Well, Screwface is not worried about a seesaw, Zoe. They're just like the brick that you put on one side. You can't ever lift them up. Screwface forced back off, right, hit by the recon ball, but no punishment. The operator gets to run away for free. And they're not even worried. Look at that. They set up on the high ground, posted. They know that Germsy has to come out, poke their head out from the lockdown. And what does Screwface do? They're going to continue holding this angle. They're going to tank being detained because the rest of the squad is going to keep them safe.
Yeah, they have the perfect bodyguards, and this will at least allow the plant to come through, but there's a flame brewing because your Killjoy is dead. They're still going to have the Viper's Wall, and they're just kind of waiting for you to overpeak CT, and once you realize the flank maybe is coming in, like that's a logical response. So it's either get flanked or fight into 3, and I don't think they even realize they're getting flanked yet.
No, they don't. It's all about creating that distraction content here for Rins. They went through sewers. Meanwhile, the Viper posted looking to main. So Rins has successfully deposited themselves so deep into the site, only grabbed the one, but that one was all they needed for the rest of Maryville to put their foot down and get this spike diffused.
Wow, I mean, I'm surprised that they get two in that regard, but that was still just a very, very impressive kind of just logical flow for Maryville University, right? I mean, other than Screwface, that wasn't logical. It was just sheer confidence, right?
Yeah.
Peeking in front of the lockdown. Again, the CT like re-pulled in that line. She's expecting to scale up off of it. Made sense, but that is an insane shot, and that's again where we need to see that extra step, that extra realization, that extra depth out of Baker that we're just not seeing yet. And it looks like, I mean, the economy's only going further in the opposite direction for Maryville here. Operator. Oh, they're going with the Outlaw now. They're like, okay, guys, now they don't have shields. We can take the Outlaw instead of the Op. But the Odin from Cloric as well. Dangerous, dangerous game. These Sheriffs have packed a punch, though. We can see. Woo! They're lucky to be alive.
They are lucky. Screwface loves playing with my adrenaline like that, loves playing with my heart. But I also love playing with the minds of Demon. Gonna send them shockwaves with that Outlaw and reposition back over towards C. Meanwhile, Demon, again, right, it's this Baker classic where they want to push up towards B, where they want to see if maybe a player from Maryville has been over-aggressive. But really the only player who loves going on these solo fights. Yeah. Jermsy is the one who's left behind deposited. And
He's died most times though trying.
Yeah.
There's no exception. That's difficulty. Is your entire team is now behind you. With a minute left though, it's very like C-side and lean from the defenders right now on Maryville's side, right? As soon as they make this contact back on the C line, or we get all the way onto the site itself, they're already here to fight back and anchor.
Yeah, I mean, you may be able to. Okay, all right. We're just looking at Outlaws being whipped out all across the Maryville squad. But if it works, it works. And for Maryville, it is really working. This half dominated by them so far. It is 7-2. But at the very least, I'll be right another 3 rounds to go.
Absolutely, and I mean, I am a little concerned that this is Baker's quote-unquote best map, but Maryville is definitely proving that it is one of their best right now. I mean, we're gonna have a little bit of a pull, as it seems like. Again, Lan working out the environment, working out your setup, just making sure everything's perfect as you want it to be in such a high-stakes match. But for now, again, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're shutting Demon down. They're shutting the Jermsy Lurks down. It's definitely hard, I think, to be like, okay, you guys just have to aim. But like, it does feel like, again, the setup is correct. It's just the follow-through isn't there at the moment.
It's not. The squad feels a little all over the place. I actually think that we're going through a small tech pause right now. Yeah, we can actually see it in the party chat. The IGL mic turned off, so don't know what's going on there as we try to figure that out. But yeah, a little bit more time for us to dissect how things have been going for Baker. It's been tough calls for them, and yeah, right. We can harp on about just hit your shots, bro. But also, there seemed to be that little bit of lack of discipline when it comes to making sure that you're killing out close corners, close sights. I think exemplary of that has been just on when they hit either A or C. And you also get the sense that they really want to take things slow and they're not abusing the advantages that this Neon gives them of pushing fast onto the site. Now we're seeing it. Hunter's Fury being used, fast lane put up. Drago finally giving us a look at a Hunter's Fury of their own. But Giza's not dead. They have 8 HP, Zobi. They swing out of the smoke, and what does Giza do? They're going to rip it right off. A good shock dart from Drago, though, but still, you're getting spammed through the smoke. Oh, my God.
Oh, and the support just came through from Jermsy, and he's immediately taken out of the fight right before Drago. I mean, again, it feels like right now Maryville can do no wrong. Baker, I liked the idea. The exit off the Hunter's Fury was really, really clean, but again, it felt like they were just late on the short clear. There wasn't someone deep enough there to react off it and play off that space. They just utilized the Viper Wall to their own advantage, tucked away there until the time was right, and then swung out, right? We saw Cloric fall, but Giza got that impact enough because Cloric was watching his short. So very nicely done there. Every player kind of online for the Maryville squad. Now they have 3 ults to work with as well. I think that's point Baker's just trying to fight for, I would say, 9-3. I wouldn't even argue an 8-4 at this point.
You gotta fight for whatever scraps you can grab. Fight for whatever scraps. Oh, okay. Screwface.
Flew too close to the sun, Chris.
Yeah, feeling a bit too overconfident themselves. Oh, so you see what I'm saying, right? We got the Cloric Odin getting flashbacks right now. It's okay though. They go inside a garage. There's no utility in here to protect it. But who needs utility when you have a hench? all sides cornered by them, and that outlaw by Germsy landed the shot, but it's under Rins, who has full shield, had full health, so that 10 HP is enough for them to skirt by to get that kill.
This is where the late round call has to be pristine, right? All right, you have Ange on C, you have the Viper in garage, could now be backside B, so where do you go? Germsy likely has calmed that the outlaw shot went through, you know the Rens is low. You know what, the Killjoy utility as well looks like on the B site, so I think this is the best bet. It's where they've gotten the most safety. It's just this cross from Giza is hard to deal with.
Yeah. All right, you're gonna put down the swarm grenade to make sure no one pushes out. Rins is still in this smoke, right? And it's just like one of those, oh my god, okay! A blink and you'll miss a moment! Maryville just completely steamrolled Baker. They were wanting to push out. And you've used the lockdown from Maryville. I mean, that's like a silver lining, but really at that point, Maryville is just playing
we say silver lining, but I feel like Maryville has invested like most of their holds on Eco Denials, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, it just feels like they're following a truth table right now. It's like, okay, lockdown C, they're going to fight A-Link, they're going to fight C-Link, one of the two. We react accordingly. C-Link gets fought, Paranoia comes out, they crunch them. You know they have to escape, and that was the correct decision for Baker to make. That's what hurts so much, is that it feels like you're like, okay, you're helpless. Like, you're doing the right thing. That was the right call, but I don't know. Maybe they could have waited a little bit longer there, just like, again, because you're expecting them to fight like that. Kind of, it reminds me of like Ascend fighting in a tree. Like, you know they're going to fight you. But all this to say, this round, at least they have a bye to cap off the half. You're trying to prevent Maryville from getting to double digits. And just like that, they change up the setup again, right? Operator now on the deep A line. Ange on a nasty off-angle with Ronge, which has been one of their safe havens. They get it pretty much for free. This is going to be disastrous. Oh, bump drone, maybe. Okay.
No, you gotta join this right.
Oh, there we go.
Ange stayed a little too long though. That's good enough for Demon. Now Ren's paranoid, gonna leave behind a snake bite to make sure that they're safe. Gives them enough time to reposition back over and commit the Viper's hit. It's in kind of this awkward position where you're pushing over towards garage, but that's actually good enough.
They're trying to fight off of it?
They don't have to do anything, right? That one Viper's pit has just sent Baker reeling towards B-side, but guess
not
what?
reeling towards B-side, reeling towards Screwface with a shorty and the spike down. And now he can reposition on the line with the operator for Germsy, or try to track down Demon. This is going to be a hard shot to hit with that Neon, but that's why you have the backup momentum fought out of his own pit.
Good lord, they're tearing through them like construction papers, Obi.
This is winnable.
It is winnable for Germsy, and this is Germsy too.
He's the timing.
So a phenomenal possibility for them to get away with something. It's still 30 seconds left on the clock.
I like this. The Sova will calm if the spike, if noise is made on C. You regroup, you play it together. Again, take no risks even when they're trying to fight for a 9-3 or a 10-2, right?
Oh, no! Germsy wanting to protect themselves with the alarm bot, instead lending way to Caloric's Odin. And that is the first half for Maryville, 10-2.
I don't even want to say that round hurts that much because Baker, I saw what I was asking for, right? Very, very thorough clearance right there. If Renz hadn't popped the ultimate, very different round once again, just because they were doing good util to flush him out. So again, the difficulties with these defenders are getting multi-kills, whether it's Cloric, whether it's Renz, whether it's Ange, or I list every single player on this team except for Screwface because he's not anchoring, he's opping and getting out. But like that is an absurd statement to have. So again, just not taking dry fights is going to be the story for this half, or I should say the retakes more than anything. But right now, the story is win the pistol. Your story is going to, not even get published at this point.
Yeah. It's grim tidings here if you're Baker. Right, 10-2. You won the first 2 rounds of the first half, and now it needs to happen again. But this time you're on defense against a Maryville squad who, for the most part, right, is spread out across the map, but still mostly pushing their way in towards C. Screwface is taking a smidge of damage. Same thing I think can happen over if we're talking at Rins. But still, though, it's
waiting for the wall drop.
Is ready when they want to make their push. They have made it. Screwface is already on site. The rest of the group coming in slowly, but Revenge is going to grab that first blood. Perfect paranoia. They were blinded out of their mind, and Screwface and Ange quick on the capitalization of that. Spike is going to be planted. It's down to the 3v4 where Giza has already thrown that into chaos. So now Nami needs to push inside a garage where again Giza is at that window. Meanwhile, Screwface is just hanging in at the connector, but Giza is unbelievable on these headshots. It's over and over, time and time again, and now you know exactly where Demon is hiding. Get rid of this duelist, and now Maryville University only needs 2 more rounds.
And normally when you introduce a new player into a system, it takes time for them to adapt to these plays. Screwface, with how many teams he's been on, with how many times he has swapped, he is a player that can immediately work his way into any system, and that looked flawless, right? From the reclear backside to odds to repositioning on the bait off angle with Giza, it is so fluid right now. It is scary, and I mean, they were lucky they found the backside kill before the site smoke came down. That was good. I like the flank play. They almost had the timing on the turret. But that's also the difference again between the two attacks we've seen. Giza, right place, right time, perfectly synced internal clock there as the lurking sentinel. Germzy, I think, is also where it seems like maybe with some calling, he's the one taking the timeouts here as well. And I think that's been throwing off his timings a little bit to have that profound sentinel impact that we're looking for. And so, yeah, you have to take the timeout here because you're contemplating, okay, Stinger Force or bust, kind of, or play for what would be 10 rounds in a row. I think that's all you can be talking about right now. That and maybe a bit of a pep talk, because again, they were confident coming into this. You'd be like, remember your training, remember the boot camp in Michigan kind of vibes. And that's all you can do right now.
Yeah, it's when we talk about backs against the wall, this is really for Baker. Everything needs to be put on the line. Looks like we're also about to get a tech pause as well, Zobi.
Ooh.
A little bit rough here, but again, right? It's a moment where they can, at the very least, get their heads back on straight, get that mentals back under control, think through themselves.
Comms are also important. They kind of need their comms, I'd say.
Yeah. So it's a matter of perspective of where Baker wants to go with this, and especially I'm curious too if they are going to do that Stinger Force. More than likely, is something that I think that we're going to be seeing from them. But still, it's a long road ahead of them to get this scoreline back under control. It's a long road that I think even for the most determined of VCT teams, is going to be a long road for them to have to walk. But it's something that I think Baker, if they can pull out of the hat here, especially right now, for this round, will give them that steps that they need to. But
I think it's also an important time, though, to bring up the fact that this is your first best one.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna put it like bluntly for those that are being like, oh my god, Baker's trash or anything in chat. This is still probably gonna be your second team out of this group if you're looking at it realistically. Like no upsets, no nothing, right? Like that's what's difficult about this group is like. Or maybe it's a silver lining for Baker. It's like, okay, once you get past this, that's your toughest team. Then you're smoothing through sail waters, right? It's like, like this is the Thunderstar, right? So they're good to go even if they lose this. But it's definitely not a great way to have like the mental shaken a little bit on your land debut after a boot camp.
Okay, we get a little peek at the scoreboard right now too. And I mean, Maryville, it's obscene almost how in sync they are with each other. It's Rin's at the top of the leaderboard with 14, but the gulf between
that's
them
your duelist
Giza,
previously, by the way. By
the way, your previous duelist, who Screwface has been occupying that position to near perfection. I mean, that's kind of the things that you want out of your duelist, right? They're creating space not only on the attack but on the defense, and I think that's something that a lot of duelists sometimes miss out on, or a lot of people can miss out on, is that the duelists, when they create that space on defense, gives that defense a little bit more wiggle room to put the pressure on the attack.
I think the other thing here to point out as well is, number one, they can smile at each other from across the PC area.
Hold on, I can see Screwface right now. He's got the biggest smile too, right? Man's a smiler.
And what was the second thing? I was looking at the smile. Now I forgot everything.
Yeah, well, you see their smiles, right, Zobi? Your mind goes blank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, get back into the action. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. It was about Kyle or Screwface as well, but we might not have time to talk about it because, I mean, they're about to exit towards a deserted seaside because Baker is going gun-ho all in towards grass with this kind of haphazard buy, scattered sheriff, scattered stinger. Looks like Renz is going to be at the receiving end of all of it.
Couldn't get out in time, right? Demon playing that neon ever so fast. Lands the killing blow with the stinger. Now let's rotate back over to C. But this site, like you said, devoid of life. There's no one here. Spike's going to be planted, but Baker has the numbers.
What does the util look like on this reclear? That's my question mark. And it looks like Maryville is trying to get aggressive, so the relay bolt has to be utilized early.
All right, get back over into site. Revenge. He's going to claim another life with the Spectre. Back over to the site. It's Screwface, though, right? This outlaw!
What?
Not a single shot. No, a couple of did, but I think they had shields on to protect them from it.
Oh.
All right, it's down to Giza. Right, Giza. No way that they're doing this! It's the 1v1, but Germzy has no HP! Giza doesn't care! Giza is just built different for the clutch! And match point.
Whew, I mean, yeah, Screwface didn't find the kills, but he found enough damage for the team to get the job done. Insane there from Giza. I mean, that was the most expensive, or I should say, like one of the most expensive weapons bought was that Guardian along with the Outlaw, and in conjunction, they are able to save really their match point, right, from the side of Baker. So, all right, Baker, though, they didn't fully invest into that, right? That's the silver lining here as well, so they are going to have decent weaponry coming in, but I'm still scared because I'm seeing light shields, no shields, and I mean, they're overwhelming your duelist, your sniper player.
Yeah, that's going to hurt, right? And then, again, that aim's just not working out for them. Finally, though, Germsy is able to get some leeway, but you've been scanned by the recon bolt through the Viper's orb. There's just nothing that you can do here. There's just nothing that can be done. Maryville University is on a tear, and it's down to just 2 players from Baker to keep any hopes, keep any dreams alive. And Ritz doesn't care anymore, Sophie. They're spraying a brain through the smoke with a Vandal.
Rose is looking for that lucky pot shot, has the comp, probably that 1 is half HP here, and Nami, there's also just distraction, buying time, because they not only have to get these kills, they have to get back into the site, and you're layering mollies, you're layering everything here, so even if they don't get the kills, this game is basically over.
Nami? Okay, all right, Nami, but you're right, you only got 58 HP. You may paranoid, you can TP over to the other side. They don't know that he's there. He's playing it quiet. They have no idea. Nami, don't play with your food, buddy. You've got to defuse the spike. You've got to go in. You've run out of ammo. Have you run out of time? Yes, they have, Zobi. A valiant effort by them, but it does not matter. For Maryville University is going to take down Baker on Haven, 13-2.
What a way for that first map of the DreamHack Collegiate Invitational to end. Absolutely insane. I mean, from right Ren just spraying down, just buying time off the mollies that are getting layered, to then Clark saying, yeah, we got this even if I lose, so I don't care if he gets the kill on me. He was really pushing CT. I mean, great attempt there from Nami. He was clutched through and through again, and one of the shining spots, I'll say, of that map for Baker. So again, that write it off. Land nerves, right? First match here for a lot of players. You're done. That's the hardest team. You literally just faced like gold, like level, like this is your first Olympics and that's the gold medalist, right? Kind of vibes.
Yeah.
So now that's out of the way, just reset, get back in the zone because your next best one's gonna be starting soon, right?
Yes, it is. In fact, going back over the schedule real quick to talk about the upcoming games that we do have, right? We have going up next, actually, you're going to be on there, Zobi, is Fisher versus UTD. Then Baker yet again, that's going to be Kennesaw afterwards. Then Fisher versus Converse, and one more is going to be, 2 more after that, Baker versus Stony Brook and St. Thomas versus Fisher. There we go, we have it right there.
Baker all day, see?
It's Baker all day. So Baker has a lot of opportunities to prove themselves on stream, and for the rest of our squads too, a lot of opportunities to show up and show what they're made of here. But for Maryville, right, a feather in their cap. They came in knowing what was going to happen, and they are making that prophecy come true.
Oh, absolutely, and I was excited to see this team as well, just because I haven't gotten to watch a lot of Maryville with the Screwface, because it does have other role swaps that come with it there. And what I was going to say beforehand is because Screwface is back on this duelist, he's not like duelist coded or blooded, right? He's more mindful of a duelist, I think, and I think that's what was evident through and through. It was always for like a certain end goal for the team, not just like, oh, team set me up, I make space, then you call off that. It was more like, okay, this is going to achieve A, B, and C for us, and they followed that diagram perfectly to victory, and a dominant one at that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations those to Maryville though on their dominant victory over Baker. We are going to go do a short break, Zobi, because we do have to get things set up. We got a lot of tech issues today that we had to sort through, so I'm sure our next group...
Want to get back on track.
Yeah, we got to get back on track, right? We got a long day ahead of us. We got a lot of best of ones that we need to work through. So everyone, make sure that you stick around because the DreamHack Collegiate Invitational is only just getting started.